29 and I find myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set them rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 get something from nothing. I sit here looking for an answer. Maybe the biggest question was in the last chapter. You gave me the soul I have today. Without you I never could have moved away. But now I see what you teach. I do believe I always should have stayed. Yeah. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. One day I'll be One day I'll be yours. I'll be Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 get something from nothing. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 get something from nothing. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 get something from nothing. Life changes just open the door. One thing's certain, I'll always be yours. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Surprise.
Hi, welcome to Silver Creek Elementary School for our regular scheduled board meeting, first one of August. Today is August 13th, 2024. This time, I'm going to call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock. If we could, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Mr. Basham, followed by the invocation from Dr. Balmer and Ms. Bright with our mission statement.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you that we can gather here tonight. We thank you for a great start of the school. It's wonderful to see the faces and reunite with our purpose and why we're here, and that's to help students succeed. Please be with us tonight and provide your wisdom and help us to make the right decisions for our corporation. Please continue to watch over our faculty, our staff, our community, and keep them safe. Thank you for all that you do for us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Roll call, Mr. Basham.
Here.
Ms. Bright.
Here.
Ms. Franklin.
Present.
Mr. Groen is absent. I am present. We have quorum. Ms. Bright, mission statement.
Our mission statement is that Silver Creek School Corporation will operate with integrity, providing a safe, welcoming, and inclusive culture for our Dragon family. Through our dedication to academic excellence, we empower everyone to achieve their highest potential. As stewards for our stakeholders and community, we commit to acting with transparency and accountability.
Thank you. Dr. Briggs, emergency additions and revisions to the agenda.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I do have two recommended revisions to the agenda. Both are under number 6, consent agenda. The first one under letter B, personnel. Under number 2, classified. Under number 1, appointments. Recommend to add letter O, and that is Carrie Linderman, Silver Creek High School Secretary, attendance, position control 51007, effective August 13th, 2024. The second revision would be under number 2, resignations. The recommendation is to remove that one. It states Jennifer Crone, Silver Creek Middle School, part-time cafeteria associate, position control 41004, effective May 30th, 2024. That had already appeared on a previous agenda, so that's a duplicate.
All right.
And that's it.
Thank you. You've heard Dr. Briggs's emergency additions and revisions to the agenda. Do I have a motion to bring that to the floor?
I so move.
Is that you, Ms. Franklin?
Yes.
Ms. Franklin makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
Ms. Bright seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none, all of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Next up, number 3, we have approval of minutes from the 7/16, 7/29, the 7/16 regular school board meeting, the 7/29 executive and work session. You should have seen those minutes in your board packet. Do we have a motion to bring that to the floor?
Move.
Mr. Basham makes the motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
Ms. Franklin seconds. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Next up, we have Gibraltar for our recognition and presentation. Are you guys ready to go, or? Okay.
Good evening, school board, and good evening to school administration. It's a pleasure for Gibraltar to return again this month as a continuation of our facility study that we started early in 2024 and continuing each month along the way. want to make sure that we just emphasize, started our journey together in February, and each month just cycling new information as we dug through every single mechanical, electrical, plumbing, to getting staff input to help make sure that the school board has as much information as possible, to not just for immediate planning, but also for long-range planning. This evening, going to go over a few as we come in for landing with feasibility options. We want to focus on student enrollment. And first slide that we do have is just making sure, and I think we all know, because many of us in this audience maneuver this campus on a daily basis, whether it's coming to work, whether it is dropping a child off or coming to an event. Wanted to make sure you understand from an aerial view about there is a lot going on in this campus, this one main campus. Moving to student enrollment, as we've been looking back to 2020 and to current data, thank you to Dr. Briggs for most recent data from this school year that you've started. But you can see at every single grade level, you've seen an increase. Going back to 2020, 2021, district total was 2,790 students. And at the start of this school year, you are currently at 3,157. That is an increase of over 13% in student enrollment over the last 4 years. So that is one piece that's very important to this conversation, because as everyone knows, it is trying to find out a plan for future growth and current needs and aligning those together. As we've looked at your capacity, kindergarten through 8th grade, we look at the existing data at the very top, and we wanted to get classroom inventory about what you currently have K through 8. And you currently have 80 classrooms. And when we look at class size enrollment on a lower end and up to a higher end, it gives you a student capacity range. And we see currently you have 80 classrooms. That low end would be 1,932. That means if you have just the perfect amount in every single classroom, which we know is not the reality, but then you, on that high end of that comfort about the most students that you'd like to have in a classroom that you'd still live with, but it's on that top end, it has your current capacity at 2,184. And as you can see in that red at the very bottom, where you finished the school year at the K-8 enrollment was 2,134 students. So you're currently on the top end with the 80 classrooms that you have available for kindergarten through 8. What you'll see this evening is a continuation of conversation with different options that we wanted to make sure that we landed on from a feasibility to looking at everything. So if it was a new build, what would that new build cover? What grade levels? All of those different options we've presented to help you know in the short term, how many classrooms would you get out of this increase? And then also, what would that student enrollment capacity on the right be? So to give you that comfort to know, based on that 13% growth, if that were to move forward, what would it look like in Silver Creek 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, so that you do have a plan for students that continue to choose Silver Creek as their child's learning experience. So looking at these options that we've color-coded just to show you kind of the alignment, option one would be in not having a new school. It would just be expanding the schools that you currently have at 2 different buildings to make sure that you increase that capacity. Again, option one gets you 94 classrooms and then increasing that student enrollment range a little bit more than what you currently have, about 300 students more. If you look at option two, it looks at building a new elementary school, but also looking at having a K-3 experience in 2 different places. So having 2 K-3 schools and then coming together at the elementary level here and then moving on to the middle school and high school. Now, know that all these grade level configurations can change and vary where you put 4th grade, where you put your 6th grade, but the idea is that, again, this is just the feasibility stage to make sure that we have a conversation about those different variations. Option 3 looks at having one new primary school, K through 3, and then as students advance from there, you then split into 2 different schools. Now, based on conversations that we've had, we wanted to develop option 4 and option 5 a little bit further about what would it look like from a capacity standpoint, long-term, and also to keep that that opportunity and experience that you have at Silver Creek, where the Dragons go together pre-K all the way through 12 in the same building together as they move along throughout their experience. And so what you see in option 4 and option 5 do require a new school, different types of configuration that you'll see, but it keeps that same momentum of that what you have currently in your 4-building system. It just makes it a 5-building system. Are there any questions before we move forward with more information to kind of help analyze this? We wanted to do a square footage take because I know from Dr. Ballmer's standpoint, he's paying attention to square footage and maintaining that square footage and cleaning that square footage and all of those different factors. You currently have 2,980 or 298,000 square feet in your current in Silver Creek that you are maintaining. And so when we looked at the different options, we wanted to determine what is that additional square footage when you bring on a new elementary, as you can see in option 2, option 3, option 4, and option 5, that additional square footage, which also is what is increasing that capacity to be able to have more classrooms for students. And then you can see you have some variations at the primary school with long-term planning at the primary school to be able to add additional classrooms there. You can move these pieces around to eventually get us to the right answer. Looked at the best practice, just educational considerations. When we look at that K3 or that K4 model, there is some benefits from a special education standpoint of having that continuation of having those students together for that 4 grade levels. Learning to read and then reading to learn. There is research about where you start the learning to read, and that usually shifts over to 3rd grade when you are then reading to learn new information. And so having all that underneath one roof does benefit that continuation of learning how to read. Also looked at minimizing student transitions if possible, and then that allowing more time, relationships to build and being in one building for multiple years, some benefits of that. And then also we looked at where you have your higher students. Let's say 2nd grade is the oldest you have in the building, or if it's 3rd grade that you have that's the oldest in the building, you give the opportunity for more leadership because those students that are the oldest in that building start to rise to the occasion. You start to see some characteristics and leadership characteristics that you normally wouldn't see if they were in a K4 model because they're 2nd graders. When they're the oldest, they just feel like it's our turn to be the leaders on the bus. It's our turn to be the leaders in the classrooms. And so I want to make sure that's part of the conversation as well. And then also a K3 configuration, increasing that likelihood of having siblings in a school. So I think of my 3 daughters, I would have had 2 daughters in one building at a time when you have that K3 model or that K4 model. And then looked at this just to create a matrix to the same information we just talked about. What are the areas to talk about for option 1? And there's no change to the high school, as you can see. It minimizes building transitions. There's only 4 buildings that you go through currently. And then one of the challenges, though, is you have a minimal capacity increase. So it's almost like if you do option 1, it's a short-term fix, not necessarily a long-term fix, based on the rate of new families that are choosing Silver Creek. So it won't go through each of the models, but you can kind of see when you look at it this way to be able to just further analyze the 5 different options that we have this evening. And then also one thing that we don't want to lose sight of is, capacity is number one. It's been a conversation just about every single board meeting we've had, but there's also from a district view, there's some other feasibility study options that we're looking at. And it's that master plan of this main campus that we're on right now. Also the long-term destiny of pre-K planning, making sure that there's capacity there. conversations about a high school campus field house. And again, at the feasibility stage, you're looking at these, you'll be able to get cost estimates and then ultimately make the best decision to move forward. Transportation center, administration center as well. And then one thing we don't want to lose sight is that there's still current facilities that need to be maintained, and through our facility study, you have well taken care of buildings. You have been proactive about taking care of them, but at some point we had some black boxes and some half boxes that in 5 years, there's some things that will need to be addressed. And want to make sure that we don't lose sight of that as well. Next steps for us, we're going to further develop those preferred feasibility options by school building so that you can have more of a detailed look about what would it look like with this addition? What would it look like from a cost standpoint for this addition? And how long would that set us up based on the growth that we're experiencing? Validate building enrollment capacities to meet current and future needs. So always look at that. The new data that we just got about students that are here and increasing over 100 students at the start of the school year is helpful for us to just get more data. Continuing to align those best options with very preliminary budget estimates to be able to find out what is that right answer moving forward, and then continue to study those learning options and those additional things that we talked about as well to make sure that everything is brought out during this study to make sure that we've turned over every stone and make sure that we're talking to the right people in the community. So I think that is it. There any questions?
Chris, I'm sure we can get into some questions when we get to the work session.
Perfect. Thank you.
Just to let anybody know that we are having a work session immediately following this this school board meeting where we'll talk about what we can afford and funding options, and then we have a needs list, wants list, and what we can do there. So welcome anybody to stay for that. Dr. Briggs, you have some exciting news.
Yes. Good evening again, everyone. So I was notified recently from the News and Tribune that they have a Reader's Choice survey that goes out every year asking their readers to vote on many things. And one of them is the best choice, best school. And I'm proud to announce that Silver Creek High School was recently voted as the best school as voted on by their readers. So to Dr. Willman and his staff, congratulations to you. There will be an ad ran in the News and Tribune near the end of the month. And so, but I wanted to bring that to everyone's attention tonight. So Dr. Willman.
Yes, and of course, we're among friends here. I'm glad that the readers of the New Albany Tribune realize that we're the best school in the area. So I want to thank them for that. We have a lot to offer here, and I think people are beginning to see that, especially with all the construction going on. So we're very happy for this. It was unexpected for this this recognition. So thank you again.
Congratulations. Way to put an end to the Greater Clark route. Next up, we have community input. We have Miss Ivy Livers. Just a reminder, community input is limited to 3 minutes. Dr. Ball will be our official timer. And if anybody else would like to sign up to speak, you can do so by just coming up and seeing Miss Susan at the end and signing that piece of paper.
Amazing. Thank you. Hi, my name is Ivy Livers. For those of you that don't know me, I am a teacher at Silver Creek High School and also a mom of 3 swimmers. So I am here tonight to talk about the need for a pool within the Silver Creek School Corporation to go along with the feasibility study being done by Gibraltar. With me tonight, I have many members of last year's Silver Creek Middle School swim team, and I have some handouts. Can I have some of my swimmers hand them out?
Absolutely.
Andrew and spread them out. Make sure that okay, they got me taken care of because they're good like that. So I am a long-time school board watcher, but I'm a first-time school board speaker. So work with me here. I speak in front of kids all day, not adults. I appreciate that Gibraltar is looking for a shopping list of things that are needed within our corporation. And I see the absolute need for a swimming pool. And one of the first questions that comes to mind for people is, why? Your swim team is really, really small. We don't have the number of swim team members. And the answer is, it's not about the swim team. To me, it's about teaching our elementary age kids, our middle school age kids, to be comfortable and familiar with water so that we are minimizing deaths of drowning in the future and so that they're comfortable with being in the water. So it's a life skill. 3 years ago, I was a part of the inaugural Silver Creek School Corporation leadership cohort, and we continued, my coworker and I continued that for our second year, and our focus was life skills. As a high school teacher, we're often told, when are we ever going to use this? And my answer is, well, let's find ways and find things that we're making sure are applicable. Having a pool in our corporation and having every kid learn how to swim is a vital life skill that is absolutely needed. The added benefit is maybe we have the next Lily King in our elementary school. Maybe we have the next Caleb Dressel and they never knew how to swim. We're trying to make things accessible to all. Not everyone has access to go to the swimming pool in the summer. Not everyone has access to be on the summer swim team or have the means to be able to be a part of the school swim team. But everyone comes to school every single day. They have PE. Why not have that be part of our curriculum? So my priority is, let's get a pool in our corporation. Find a way to pay for it. That's going to be the biggest question mark. And so my thought and my process is that it's no longer a want. It's a need for our corporation. So how do we make that a priority? And there are ways to prioritize it within our construction budgets, hopefully. There are ways that we could prioritize it being funded by grants, linking it back to life skills and linking it back to our curriculum. There are donors in our corporation that live in our boundaries, that are former graduates that would be willing to invest in the future of our kids to be able to get them into a pool. I received feedback. I wrote a letter to the school board back in late July, and the feedback I got was really wonderful. And I'm really excited by the positive feedback. My next question is, what are we doing in the meantime for our kids that are in our swim program? How are we making sure that they get swim times that aren't ending at 9 o'clock at night, 3 nights a week? We wouldn't expect that out of our football team. We wouldn't expect our basketball team to only practice 3 days a week. So how are we making sure that the kids that are a part of that program are second to none? Because that's a phrase that's used a lot at these school board meetings. How are we making sure that our swim program is second to none is really a big priority for me. Don't let this get cut from our next budget. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else sign up? Anybody come up? No, we're good. All right.
If we don't mind really quick, I just have a couple questions. Is there anybody here from the swim, the students or a coach or anybody that could answer some questions for me, please? Would be willing to answer some questions for me if you could come to the podium. Okay. Hi, what's your name?
Dashiell Leonard,
Dasher Leonard. Okay, what grade are you in?
8th.
8th grade. And who are you?
My name is Megan Biggs, and I'm in 9th grade.
9th grade. Okay. So, just roughly, do we know how many swimmers we have, corporation and district wide, that are involved in the program right now?
Last year we had 5 high school swimmers.
Okay.
And 7 middle school.
Okay.
2 were 5th graders.
There are pictures of our middle school swimmers in the packet.
Okay.
So you had 5 middle school, 2 elementary?
Okay. And so, what does practice look like for you guys currently right now?
We often go to different schools because we practiced at both Highland Hills and New Albany, and typically our practices were very late at night.
Okay. So when you have to go to Highland Hills, how does that make you feel? Does it make you feel like you're going to somebody else's turf just to practice and stuff like that?
Personally, no, because I swim for a club team at Highland Hills, but the other swimmers do pace usually.
Okay. So were you guys members of like the West Clark Sea Cats? Is that how you guys learned about swimming? How'd you guys learn about swimming?
We were involved in at least I was in the West Clark Sea Cats first, and then learned about PACE, and then went to it.
So PACE is a competitive swim club in the area, correct? Is that right?
Yes, they practice at Jeff High,
Okay.
and RAC is the other one that practices at Highland Hills.
Okay. Okay. And so who is your current coaches that help you guys?
Thanks.
Our current coaches are Coach Erica and my dad, who's going to be the assistant coach for this up and coming season.
Erica Fitzgerald, is that who you're talking about? Okay. All right, well, I really appreciate you guys answering my questions, because obviously we're trying to gain as much information as we possibly can as we make decisions with, you know, the future of all of our construction projects and things like that. So I want you guys to know that we have you guys in like consideration in everything that we think about, and we don't want you to think just because there's not very many people involved or anything that we are not even, you know, talking about it or anything. We appreciate you guys coming here tonight, and we're proud of you guys. And so maybe I'll come to one of your swim meets sometimes. I assume that you never have a home meet, right? You always have to go away to a pool. Okay. Well, thanks for coming tonight. And sir, I see you in the back. Do you have some questions or statements you want to ask?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to make a few comments. Jason Finn, I'm a volunteer assistant coach. Well, I'm starting this year. So just wanted to note that in the, I guess, your mission statement, you know, the part about inclusion, and I think it's important that that also apply to athletics and then also, Ivy, to your point, as far as safety and teaching valuable life skills. My best friend from college died from a drowning accident, so it's very close to home for me. So thank you for bringing that up. But thank you all for your consideration.
Yep. Thank you, Ivy, for your email and your coming here tonight to advocate for that. I do appreciate it. I think for myself, I need to do a little bit more research on what the curriculum would look like. I know when I was in high school, like freshmen always had to go into the pool. Some people really enjoyed that and some people didn't. But, you know, I'll have to be honest and say that that wasn't even something that like I truly had thought about with regards to the pool. I think people always think of pool as a luxury because and they look at it only for sport purposes. And so I think it's good that you guys are bringing awareness to that, and we really appreciate you guys coming here tonight.
So my question is, has this team ever used the YMCA? And the reason I ask is when we were doing getting off the ground, the construction projects for the high school, a pool was on the, you know, in the discussions, of course. But we were told that the team was using the YMCA. So can you tell me more about that?
It's in Jeffersonville. So
Oh, the one off of Hamburg Pike there. Yeah.
So my oldest is a junior currently in high school, sorry. And when he swam in 5th and 6th grade, we did practice at the Jeffersonville YMCA. And then one year we had to pay for a membership and we opted not to do swim season that year. And then that was the COVID year, I think. And then since then we have been at a New Albany Floyd related pool. So last year we were primarily at New Albany High School because they underwent a brand new renovation and it's very nice. But they are sharing those lanes with New Albany gets the pool after school. They have a club team practicing there, and we share lane space with Henryville.
And so with the why is that not a feasible place to? I'm not saying it should be. Don't
No,
take
no,
that
no,
wrong.
no.
I just want to understand why that's not a good fit.
I'm not sure why it was taken off the table. I think it had something to do with the fees, but don't quote me on that. Also, there are only 2 lanes available, and they are open to the public. So having 2 lane spaces for practice and open to anyone else to be able to use becomes
Like how
difficult.
many lanes is typical for practicing?
You take as many as you can get, but at New Albany last year, you guys had what, 2 lanes? 2 to 3 lanes, depending on who else was sharing the pool that night. Right, and our pools that we have been swimming in have 6 lanes.
If we're, and I'm not trying to speak for our AD because I'm sure he'll look into this, but if we were looking for at least a short-term fix, would the Y be a better fit for right now?
Possibly.
Okay.
Depends on times and availability. To me, those are the number 1 questions I would have.
Gotcha.
Some of the swimmers were kind of like, no, like, what is there pros and cons to each one where you're swimming at?
So for like school swimming facilities compared to the Y, the schools have blocks and other amenities that the Y cannot offer.
So they don't offer blocks to even show you how to start to jump into the pool.
Yeah, and really with 2 lanes and like the public, that gets pretty crowded, especially if we're expecting more swimmers than usual with other volunteers and stuff. And it's not the same feel as a school swimming pool where you can dive in, practice everything, and get a full workout.
I understand. Do we have any divers? Do we have anybody that's been interested
We
in
do in
diving
our
yet?
building, but they haven't joined the team, and I've tried to convince.
Yeah, it's hard to be interested in something or maybe get started in something, if you don't necessarily have the facilities or there's not an interest in it.
I'm convinced our cheerleaders would make excellent divers with their tumbling skills, honestly.
Yeah, maybe.
Ivy, question, with the renovation, I believe at Hazelwood this year that's coming up, is that gonna, or I had heard, is that gonna put any hampering on you guys using New Albany's facility if they have to use that?
So Hazelwood's pool was where we originally were supposed to be last year, and it got shut down. And I don't know how permanent of a shutdown that was. The last I heard within the New Albany Floyd School Board meeting minutes, which I follow those as well, is that no New Albany middle school pool was undergoing renovation.
Okay, I knew it was shut down last year and I thought it was because it needed renovation. And I just figured they would have started that by now, so.
And so you guys, you don't practice after school, so I'm assuming you go home and then parents are transporting to the practices and things
Yes.
like that?
So practices are typically 7:30 to 9.
Okay.
What nights of the week we can have access?
Yeah.
How many nights a week would you
3
like
on
to?
average? 3 on
that-
average?
That you would like to be able to practice?
5?
Is that what most swim teams do? Is 5?
Yes, 5 or 6.
I'll just say this. I know that the West Clark Sea Cats was an organization and a club that was developed to kind of support all of the swimmers from the varying districts when we were one district. I will just say that I think what would help grow the interest is if a Silver Creek Swim Club was started. That takes advocacy and volunteers, and I know that's a lot of work, but that's a club option. It doesn't solve the facility issue right now, but I do think that if there's a growing demand and that is more local and, kind of started when they are younger,
Yes.
that would grow interest. And I'll just say that if there's interest in that, in developing that as like a nonprofit, to kind of get that going, then I would be a person who would be interested in just helping support that.
Absolutely.
And so I know there's a lot of people who have kids, and that's usually where those things grow from, is a person who has a child involved in it and stuff. So, might be something in your community, in your swim community, if you have a parent volunteer who's willing to do that, because I do think that the bigger the numbers, the louder the voice,
Yes.
right? And so I do think that would help you guys, but don't think that we're not ever thinking about it. And I appreciate you guys being here tonight.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for coming out.
You guys did a great job speaking.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
All right, Dr. Briggs, consent agenda?
Okay, under consent agenda, under letter A, finances, under number 1, we have number 1. Under letter B, personnel, under certified appointments, letters A through G. Number 2, classified appointments, we have letters A through O. Under number 2, resignations, we have letters B through H. Under number 3, positions, we have letters A and B. And under letter C, other requests for approval, we have numbers 1 through 14. And that's it for the consent agenda.
All right, hearing the consent agenda, do we have a motion to bring that to the floor?
I so move.
Ms. Bright makes a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Basham seconds. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 4-0. Dr. Briggs, you have a discussion item here. It's not for vote. Did you just want to touch on the policy for the teacher appreciation grants?
Yes, we have policy 3220.01, teacher appreciation grants, and this is our annual policy that needs to be reviewed. You guys did update this with no changes in the spring. However, I like to bring it up this time of year because we do have to submit an annual policy around September 15th, so that we are eligible for this funding. So as of right now, there are no recommended changes, and if there are, I will alert you for the second reading coming up at our next board meeting.
All right, sounds great. Next up, under action items, number 1, we have the resolution for the sale of the property to Indiana Department of Transportation. Information was in your board packet. It's just for the easement. It does not affect any part of the school. Do we have a motion to bring that to the floor? Mr. Basham makes the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Franklin seconds. Any comments or discussion?
With regards to that, is that based upon the information that we got in the packet? That's really just like a little bit of an extension of the breezeway that's already, like the shoulder that's already there, right? Like anything they take down as far as sidewalks and things like that, they're replacing all that.
That's 100% correct.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
It's not gonna, the fence, like the elementary fence, our signage, nothing's supposed to be bothered by that, any of that. It's a very small strip of land that they're doing. That's just for that widening project that they're coming through with Highway 31.
Can't wait till it's here on School Joy.
Yeah, wait, just wait. All right, any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 4-0. Next up, you have your reimbursement of professional services. That invoice was in your board packet. Do we have a motion to bring that to the floor?
I so move.
Ms. Franklin makes a motion. Do we have a second? Mr. Basham seconds. Any comments, discussion? Hearing none, all of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, those
Nay.
that abstain. All right. Motion carries 3-1. Next up, we have our comments, reports. Do we have Miss Campbell? Oh, there you go.
Hello, good evening. Our school year is off to a great start at the primary. Our staff has been working really hard to teach and reteach. Our theme this year is it's okay to teach friends how to human, because that's what we're doing when they come to kindergarten. It's been a really great start to the year, and I just want to take a second to thank our incredible staff. Couldn't do it without every single one of them. We're really excited about our first waiver day coming up next week. We're excited to welcome our presenters from our newly adopted ELA textbook company, Amplify and CKLA. And I would just want to thank Dr. Swearens, Maria Jenkins, our instructional coach, and our leadership team. Everyone's really excited for this change and really excited to have those materials at our fingertips. We began our journey of shifting to include the science of reading in our work each day in last January. So we're really excited to kind of put some resources to go with that. And then I just want to give a shout out to Brandy Gadd. She is our permanent building sub at Silver Creek Primary. We have 3 maternity leaves at the primary this year, so don't drink the water. And one of them is for the first quarter, and trying to find someone to start the beginning of the year kindergarten is, well, it's quite challenging. And so Brandy stepped up, and she is fulfilling that, one of our 11 kindergarten classrooms. So we're really grateful for her and all her support. And last but not least, tomorrow's picture day at the primary. So come on over if you want to see lots of our little friends smiling for the camera. It's always a fun time, for sure, especially when they don't know the people taking the pictures. Lots of them don't like to smile for people they don't know. So it's a good day. Any questions for me?
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Myers?
Good evening. Hi, we're off to a great start at the elementary school. We are welcoming back 967 students this year. So pretty exciting times. SCE is a great place to be, and the word is out, obviously. So we're excited for that. Also, our robotics club started today. So our kids got to stay after school today and start on their challenges and working through that. So that was a big accomplishment and a great thing to get started. Also, we're excited about Waiver Day as well coming up for our CKLA. I'd like to give a shout out to Andrea Anderson, Candace Feldman, Gina Scott, and Jenna Doty, who, when the FedEx truck pulled up with 11 pallets of materials and dropped it on our doorstep, they worked vigorously to get that out to the classrooms as quickly as we could and have it inventoried and everything ready to go. So they put on their tennis shoes for a couple of days and was pushing carts around as fast as they could. Got our steps in for sure. Book fair will be at the beginning of September, September 4th through the 11th, and we will have our first family education night on September 5th. So we're excited about that. And I just want to thank all of our staff at the elementary school for all the work they've done so far this year and continue to do every day for our kiddos. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Ms. Nunn?
Good evening from the middle school. We'd like to welcome everybody to the 2024-25 school year, and we're off to a great start. And again, thanks to all of our summer staff who helped make the middle school just a wonderful place to start our school year. Recognize some new staff at Silver Creek with Emily Losi, our counselor, Garrett Atkins in U.S. History, Samantha Pop at Science, Christina Levitt as our special education teacher, Olivia Schmidt in our ELA department, and 2 new assistants in Laura Cust and Lisa Selfridge. So welcome all of our new staff. Our fall sports begin this week. We're excited about all of our fall sports. Volleyball home and football is away this week. And then next week, we'll begin boys tennis, boys and girls cross country, boys and girls soccer, cheer. And we want to wish all of our sports teams the best of luck. If you haven't heard, the first junior battle of 403 will be happening soon. It is a home game on August 22nd. So we are encouraging everybody to come out and support the team in white and cheer on the Dragons. We are also recognizing 31 students, and that's about the largest amount of students we've had who've completed the library summer reading program. We're going to invite them to have lunch with some special guests on Monday. So congratulations to those 31 students who completed the reading program. We also have a shameless plug is our first dance is coming up this Friday, a welcome back. So anybody who would like to volunteer, all you need is a background check. And if you call our office, we can make that happen. We are also going to send out some information on our afternoon announcements on how to pick up from the dance. It's going to be very similar to how we're going to pick up from our after school. So hopefully it'll go very smoothly. Our after school pickup has been wonderful. And again, thank you to all of our staff who've spent a lot of their own time preparing their rooms and their instructions so that they were ready to start the year. Thank you to all of our students and families who have given a lot of support to us. We've received a lot of school supplies, which have come in handy. So thank you to our families, community members, Hunter Station Pizza for all of the back to school donations. We do have more school supplies available, and we plan to have them available throughout the year. Again, if anybody needs anything, they can contact our front office, and we do have a supply shelf that we are introducing this year. So if anybody needs anything throughout the year, they should be able to just help themselves to our supply shelf. Again, any families or anybody who needs any information, our afternoon announcements are the best place to start with different links that are on there every day. So any questions for the middle school?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Willman?
Good evening again. We have also had a very successful opening of school. I'd like to thank the teachers, the support staff, the transportation, central office for their support, and also the students. I know teachers were not given access really to their rooms until relatively late in the year, and everybody seemed to pull it together. We do have our open house a lot later at the high school for the general student population, due to the fact that a lot of the students have dropped an ad, so everybody's in the right class by this time, so we thought it more appropriate then. That will be Thursday night, starting at 6 o'clock, with a brief parent meeting, 15 minutes in the gym, and then students and parents will get a chance to walk around the building. And they're going to see lots of odd placements. We have right now with the construction going on, we have every available space is taken up, but we are planning to move in October. We have those plans pretty much underway right now, and we'll begin to send out information on how that's actually going to take place, of when we're going to give students a tour of the building right before fall break, or the new part potentially, and then how that's all going to work with teachers. So we're working closely with Calhoun now to shore that up. We do have, of course, lots going on. Enrollment is up, it looks like. I don't have an exact number right now, but it looks to be up significantly. And then we have a lot of our sports teams have already started. Of course, golf had a win yesterday at Hidden Creek. We have a scrimmage with volleyball tomorrow at home, and then, of course, the football game, the scrimmage at Seymour this Friday. We'll also have a rally on the 23rd, so that's Friday. We're not sure whether it's going to cover both blocks of A and B, but lots of festive stuff happening right now. Any questions for the high school?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Swearens? Dr. Waters?
Good evening. I just have an update from our Health Services Department. Our nurses have worked extremely hard to ensure all student health needs are met. Student immunization clinics, staff flu shot clinics, and student vision exams have been scheduled. If your student has any medical needs requiring care during the school day, please make sure that you notify your school nurse. We want to remind all parents that students cannot bring medication to school. Updated medication forms must be on file each school year before any medication may be administered. Lastly, if your student is needing an additional required immunization, first notices will be sent out on August the 26th. So please make sure that this is a high priority to prevent exclusion from school. That's all I have. Do you guys have any questions? Thank you.
Anybody else? Thank you. Dr. Briggs?
Yeah, just a couple of items. Just want to thank everyone to a great start to the new school year. And thanks to our students who spoke tonight. You guys did a great job. And thank you, Mrs. Livers, for coming out and sharing your thoughts. Appreciate it. And also looking forward to our first waiver day, which is a week from tomorrow on the 21st. That is no school for students. That's it.
Dr. Balmer?
Yeah, just continue to be thankful to be a part of Silver Creek and all that's going on. It was a great start to the school year. I just definitely want to give one more shout out. Getting the buildings ready is one thing. A lot of hard work went into the summer with our facilities team, admin, and just preparing. Just really want to thank, and then thank everyone for their efforts. And then also one thing that we do so well is when our students come here, I think they feel welcome, feel a part of that Dragon family, feel safe here, and that's just a kudos to our staff, admin, teachers, support staff, everybody who makes that success every year. Also, just want to thank the swim team again. I think we're doing everything we can to make progress for a lot of lost time, a lot of things to make up for, but we're doing our best, and I think everybody would agree we're definitely moving forward, and we'll continue to move forward and do our best to make sure needs are met within the budget. So thanks again for coming out and speaking, and we do appreciate you and all that you do to represent Silver Creek. And that's it.
Ms. Bright?
I'll be last if you don't mind.
Sure. Mr. Batson?
I'd just like to follow up on what Todd said to our staff for building leadership. I know it's going to be an exciting year for us. I get a lot of questions out in the public. When do they get to see our new building? And I hope that happens this fall too for the public, and just wish all the students and teachers have a good year.
Thank you, Ms. Franklin.
I just want to welcome everyone that is coming to our corporation to work. I looked through the list of the new hires, and I just am really appreciative that people come here to put, their heart and passion into helping our students. One name that really sticks out on there, Carrie Linderman. Her and her husband have just been so dedicated to the school. I don't know if you guys know Carrie or not, but she has been amazing. She's got 4 kids, so she's been super invested here, and single-handedly just kind of really blew up the elementary PTO when she was here, and really just did amazing things. And so I just want to give her a shout out tonight. I saw this on the agenda earlier and personally welcomed her, but she's going to be a great face for our office at the high school. A lot of the kids know her. She's going to do an amazing job, and so welcoming her is awesome. And then just really we're out recognizing the instructional assistants and the aides that are coming to work here, our paraprofessionals. They really do make a difference, and so I feel like we always have openings in that department. And so when you come here, I just really want to let you know that you're appreciated, and thanks for coming. That's all I have for tonight.
Perfect. Thank you, Ivy, Coach Finn, and swimmers for coming out tonight. It's really great to hear the feedback. Everybody, welcome back. And the fact that we didn't get any calls, it must have went pretty smooth with transportation, and admin and everybody getting in the building, so that's a positive this year. And welcome our new staff and our students. We know we don't have the final count yet, but we have more students this year than we had last year. So we have new people, and we have quite a few new staff members too. So welcome aboard. Ms. Bright, I'm sorry. You want to go last?
Yeah. Kind of echoing the same thing. Welcome back to everyone, and thank you to those who came out in regards to the swim team and such. I'll try not to get winded, but I was just reflecting back on, when I first came on the board a little over 4 years ago. And my dream was to see the high school renovated and to really have, to see strong ESL, high ability, and SPED departments, to have a stellar central office, and to see hourly rates increase, to see teacher pay increase. And I feel like we have accomplished that, or are continuing to accomplish that. Unfortunately, on a different note, it has become increasingly clear that the values and morals that I hold differ from that of the school board, so I've decided to submit my letter of resignation. But I want to say it has been an absolute honor to serve my community in this manner, to see you through the split, to see you through COVID, capital projects. We have wonderful teachers and students, and I wish you all the best. I wish you well.
Right. Ms. Bright, thank you. And I appreciate everything you've done.
Thank you.
All right. Just a reminder, we are upcoming meetings. We do have one immediately following this, which is our work session. And again, anybody is welcome to stay. Next up, we have our regular school board meeting on August 27th. Reminder, Dr. Briggs will not be here that evening. And then we also have our next two regular school board meetings in September will be the 10th and the 24th. All three of those are here in the elementary school. At this time, do we have a motion for adjournment? Ms. Franklin makes a motion. Do we have a second? Mr. Basham seconds. All of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 4-0. Meeting adjourned at 6:52.